Started, and for those of you that have joined, what I'm going to do is pop a link into the chat of the PowerPoint that I'm going to be going over in case, it'll alleviate maybe taking some unnecessary notes, and it's always nice to go back and refer to the PowerPoint. So I did that, and then I'll introduce myself. My name is Laura Glaser. I'm with the North Dakota Department of Career and Technical Education. I have been working in the Career Resource Network, we used to be called, since 2004. And coincidentally, back at that time, 2004 through 2007, I also worked for Job Service because we were actually a program under Job Service as the Career Resource Network. And in 2007, we transitioned over to CTE because of Perkins funding, which I know you're all very well aware of, changes with funding and how it affects us as employees and as programs. But today I'm going to give you an overview of RUReadyND.gov, and what it will be is a little bit of going over the PowerPoint, and then also I'll jump in and show you some things live as well. This session is being recorded so that your colleagues that couldn't make it today can go back and review this later. If you have a professional account already set up, you are welcome to sign into that and follow along with some things as I go along. And if you do not have a professional center account, I'll have you contact someone, either Tammy Barstad or someone to get the professional access code so that you can set up your own professional account. Feel free to add any questions that you have as we go along to the chat, and whatever we have time to answer before today's hour is up, I'll respond immediately, and if not, I'll follow up with all of you after today. Okay, so to get us started, for those of you that this is brand new to, what is RUReadyND.gov? Well, here's the boilerplate description, but really it is a career exploration and planning program. We've been providing access to it to North Dakota schools since 2004 statewide. There's a portal where all students can log in, and Job Service North Dakota uses the same portal. That's RUReadyND.gov. Job Service North Dakota is contracting directly with ZAP to provide Are You Ready to their clients, and that includes access to the RUReadyND.gov Professional Center. So technically, all individuals in North Dakota have access to RUReadyND.gov, but not necessarily all programs. And having that professional center access means that you can see the work that your clients or the students are doing in Are You Ready, that you are serving, help them, guide them, and just do what you can to support their career goals. There are two Are You Ready sites. That Professional Center, which I mentioned that maybe you do or do not have an account in yet, and then RUReadyND.gov, and that is the student and individual portal. So as professionals, you are always going to access Are You Ready through the Professional Center. You do not need to go directly to RUReadyND.gov ever. And if you try to log in with your Professional Center credentials to RUReadyND.gov, it's going to tell you you do not have an account. And I mention that specifically because that's something that comes up, especially for those that only log in once in a while, that they say, oh, I can't log in. What's the problem? Well, just make sure that you are in the Professional Center. And the Professional Center is this window that I also have open on the right side of the screen that we'll be diving into a little bit later. Okay, so again, the Professional Center. Here are the instructions for creating a Professional Center account. These are in that PowerPoint. And then if you request access through Tammy or someone else, these instructions will come along with the access code that you need. But really, you just need to go to procenter.rureadynd.gov. Again, that's the URL on the prior page. Click Create a Professional Center account, and it will walk you through that process. There will be that access code that you need, so you'll want to have that at your fingertips before you even attempt to log in. Once you get to the Professional Center, you're going to find that you have access to review all of the client accounts that are connected to the Job Service site, run reports, and see available resources. But you're also going to have a demo account, and you access that demo account through the professional center. When you look at the landing page, you're going to see a badge for Methodize ACT test prep. You do not have access to Methodize for any of your adult clients. If you're working with any students through their accounts that are connected to their school, then they would have ACT test prep access. Okay, so now I'm just going to hop in really quick to the demo account. So I'm going to go over to the right side of my screen. I am logged into the Professional Center, and this is a training site, so I'm not sharing any authentic user information. This is all just a sandbox for training. But I'll see that immediately I have the option of choosing the role that I want to sign in as. Well, I'm going to choose adult. And then as soon as I'm in, I'll point out that there's a user way accessibility widget in the upper right. And if I were to click that, I could see that, oh, I can change the contrast, highlight links, and do some other things that make the site more accessible to, to individuals. And then if need be, I can also change the language. And if you click on the flag in the top of the menu, it translates to many languages. A lot of times you see that sites translate to maybe Spanish, but there are languages that I will admit I'm not even familiar with. And all they would need to do is click that, and about 90% of the site will automatically translate. I'm going to pick one just to demonstrate right now. And if this is a need of one of your clients from just about anywhere in the world, they probably have something that will be a lot more familiar to them that they could either view the site using that language, or it may be helpful to toggle back and forth if they come across text that's unfamiliar to them. Okay, now the left side menu in Are You Ready will help users locate specific content. So this menu is new this year. Before there would be a menu on the top, and it would be easy for individuals to get lost in the site and not know how to get back to that menu. Now this menu on the left side is always visible, and they can navigate through the platform through that menu. And in the PowerPoint, I'll show that there's the career tab, college tab, financial, and portfolio tabs, and then also activities. Now that activities is tied into this My Career and Academic Plan for college student and adults that is on the top. So you might wonder, okay, this is great. I'm getting familiar with Are You Ready? But I don't know the whole thing yet. Where do I have my client start? This is a very good place to start. There are 39 selected activities that have been chosen for job service and other adult clients, which also can be modified by someone at job service. But all they would have to do is click on this or over here in activities. And this is a walkthrough through the site. And any activity that they complete, like in my example individual here, I can see that, oh, I completed the career cluster on October 3rd, 2025. I would be able to see my results or try it over again. And of these 39 activities, they're all listed here. I may or may not have completed them. And you can see that, oh, right over here on the left side, it shows I have completed 14 of 39 and I have 25 left to complete. So either through that menu on top or through this left side menu, I can navigate to this location. And also you can access it if they're within the program. They can access it through a number of different ways. And I just clicked on the wrong one, but I'm a little click happy here today, but you get the idea. Another way to navigate through the program, if you are not going to be with that individual or they want to do work at home, is by tracking the milestones that they've completed. And an individual can see what milestones they have completed by clicking on portfolio and your portfolio, and they're going to be able to scroll down and see your planning milestones. So there's two ways that individuals can be guided through the site and see what they've completed and some suggested activities. For both the assignment and curriculum and the milestones, you're going to be able to run a report in the professional center and be able to see either by group, by all clients, or by selecting and creating a new group, what activities they have completed. Now, something that I am sure that either those of you already using RUReady or those of you who plan to use RUReady are using is the assessments. Now, those are under Learn About Yourself. Student finds or an individual, the usual population I work with is students, so forgive me, I may use student and client interchangeably, but I know that some of you work with students as well. But it's just a click away. Career, learn about yourself, and you'll find all of the assessments. Once you click into the assessments, it will actually say how long the assessments take to complete. So the interest profiler is about 10 to 20 minutes, work values 5 to 15, basic skills 10 to 15, etc. And it's important to note that users can begin an assessment and return to it later and finish it. Progress is automatically saved at all times, so they don't have to complete a full assessment or all assessments at one time, and they can retake any of the assessments. One assessment that might be especially helpful to some of your clients is helping them understand the work skills and the abilities that they already have, and that's where the work history can really help. That will be available through the career tab, then explore careers, and then work history. How many of you, if you want to give me at least one hand raise, have found that you have a client come in and they say, I don't know what to do, and they don't know how to transfer those skills into something else. And the work history can help them do that. I'm going to just give it a start here to show it, but what have you done that you can use in the future? It's thinking a little bit here, but they can choose a previous career. Maybe I was a customer service representative, and I could add that, and it would walk me through some steps. And I'll let you all practice this on your own. But you can see also that it will take them through transferable skills and help them find matching careers. This is being a little bit slow, so I'm not going to do the whole assessment here today. And also, we only have an hour. By the end, maybe I'll be able to give you a few minutes back as well. For your clients that come into your workforce centers, an important question is, how do they create their accounts? We do have a quick reference guide, which I'll make sure to share with all of you after this workshop. But the instructions really are that they're going to go to RUReadyND.gov. They're going to click create an account, fill out some very easy questions to answer. Who are you? In most cases, it's going to be an adult. They're going to complete their portfolio with their first and last name, and they're good to go. Returning users, just go to RUReadyND.gov and sign in with their username and password. You might have clients from within North Dakota that already have RUReady accounts. And if they have done enough work that they feel like it's worth regaining access to the account that they had in high school, that is very possible. And every public school student in North Dakota has had an account because we automatically create them for them. It doesn't mean that they've all used them, but they could gain access and go back and capitalize on all of their saved work, any of their volunteer experiences, their assessments that they've created previously, and build upon that rather than start from scratch. But there is also nothing wrong from them for them to start from scratch. If they say, you know what, I never used it that much, or I really don't want to go back and try and regain access, it's okay. They can just create a new account. For students that have graduated since 2013, I'll also have some instructions that I can send to you on how those students can easily sign back into their accounts just using a naming convention for their account and their date of birth. And I've talked a little bit about your adult clients and students. And there are some differences in the site between student access and adult access. Most of it is going to make sense. The fact that, adults, they do not need to plan their high school courses. They don't need a high school planning timeline. And, maybe there's some good tips in there, but they really don't need how-to guides for homework helpers and succeeding in high school. Adult role users also do not have access to Compass at this time. And many of you might have heard of Compass because that's the product from Golden Path Solutions that there is quite a bit of usage statewide. And it is, however, a licensed product, and you have to pay a license fee to access that. And the license that North Dakota CTE has with the company Zap includes that Compass access, but that is not extended to like university system and job service, voc rehab and such. You also do not have access to CareerView XR web-based experiences. So for every Career One-Stop video that is associated with an occupation in Are You Ready, there's also a Career One-Stop video. If there's a CareerView XR experience, we have replaced the Career One-Stop video with a web-based experience for CareerView XR. So if there is like a dental assistant, fully immersive experience using CareerView XR, we have a companion video. It's more of an enhanced video than the Career One-Stop video, but you do not have access to those. But you do have access to the fully immersive CareerView XR experiences. Job Service has paid for a license to access those, and those are the ones that require the VR headset. So you're contracting directly with Be More Colorful for access to CareerView XR fully immersive content that you need a VR headset for. And if you have any questions about that or need technical support, you're going to contact Lisa Metzger with Be More Colorful, and she can help you out. Now, I believe it's only certain job service locations right now that are sharing those headsets, and someone at Job Service will know more about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump back to the Professional Center. I'm going to pause to see if anyone has any questions before I do so. Okay, so I'm going to move ahead now. So the Professional Center, again, that's the site that you're going to be using. Common question that you might receive: I forgot my password. So how do you reset a user's password? That's something that's pretty simple to do. They can reset it themselves, just like we reset our Facebook accounts, bank passwords and everything. If they remember the bare minimum of what they need, which should be access to an email address. But you can also be right next to that person and say, just give me a second, I can reset your password. So you would need to have their name. You have that since you're working with them. You could either search for them by specific last name. You could browse. Now this is by class. I find it easiest sometimes just to go by last name. And, maybe this person, again, these are all fictitious students. Dean Bailey says, I forgot my password. I would click on that individual's name and click reset password. All I would need to do is create a very temporary password. So you don't have to have a conversation with them about, well, what would you like me to reset your password to? It's completely unnecessary. You can pick something that's easy to remember, maybe by the time they get back to where they're seated or anything, because they're going to be immediately prompted to change that password when they log in. So if I'm working with someone side by side, I might even say something like password with a capital P and the number 1. They go back and get seated, use that password, are prompted immediately to change that, and they have a confidential password again. I love reports. All this, everyone goes through all the work of doing those activities. We want to have something that is reportable. You can do that through the reports tab in the professional center, which I'm showing on the right side. Uh, the screenshot I took on the left side, however, though, is an actual screenshot of job service activity so far this year. And I can see that active accounts this year, there are 29. Total year-to-date logins, there are 64. So there's definitely room for growth for usage amongst the job service sites. In my demonstration site here, I have 185 total accounts, 10 logins. None of these are real people. The only people that sign in are me when I'm using those accounts for demonstration. Now, the reports that I think that you would use most out of all the reports that are available on the dashboard. So this dashboard on the right side, I've taken some screenshots that I have in the PowerPoint. I think that you would probably use some of the engagement reports. You'd see the number of accounts created, active accounts. Parent connections is, more suitable to the schools. If individuals have uploaded any files, you'd see those, and a communication log, which tracks any of the messaging that you're doing back and forth with individuals within RUReady. Now, under progress reports, you'd find that assignment and curriculum builder report, the milestones. You don't have access to work-based learning. Planning is if anyone has solidified some goals and action plans, if they have decided on a career cluster, maybe they have indicated that there's a college that they want to go to, etc. Probably not going to use most of these along the bottom. But this is a big one here too. I'm going to skip course plans because that would have to do with their high school course plans. Probably not going to be using college and applications very much, but assessments. This is the one that I could see you using the most. And that would be if they've completed the basic skills survey, the career cluster survey, career clusters map, all of those assessments that we looked at earlier, you'd be able to run a report. So I'm just going to click career cluster survey. Zap is in the process of updating the report features. So I actually, for the time being, I have to do career clusters twice. So I scroll down to assessments and I do career cluster survey. And you can see that I can just continue or I can break down the report. I don't think this is very used often, or often used to report by sex, ethnicity, graduation year. We're not tracking ethnicity, and that's not meaningful data. But if you have groups, which could be very useful for job service across the workforce locations, you could select the group. So maybe it would be the Grand Forks Workforce Center that had a group, and you could select that group only. So you're filtering it down to only those individuals. And maybe you only want adults, just in case there are any student accounts that somebody has created, because your site is open for site creation, account creation. You might find some random students when they don't know how to get into their account, just go out and create a new one. They can't connect it to their school because we keep the public schools hidden, so they just choose a random site. That does happen. But I'm just going to click continue here, and I can choose a time frame. I'm going to click this school year, or you could select a calendar year, pick any dates that you want, and click continue. I always display graphs. Why not? It doesn't take any longer for the report to run, and I like visuals. I would be able to see the number of accounts again and 6 completed the career cluster survey here in my training site account. These are the clusters that were the highest percentage. So education and training out of these 6 individuals. Why are more than, why are there more than 6 here? Well, some people have uh, maybe results in 2 clusters. Maybe those were equal. But down on the bottom here, you can click and you can see, well, education and training, who are the 2 people that were most interested in that as a career cluster? Those blue hyperlinks would just show uh, the student names. These also are fictitious as Grand Forks Valley and Grand Forks South students. So now under reports, I mentioned earlier that assignment and curriculum tracking report, that is available under progress, assignment and curriculum. You have to do that again under progress. And then you get to choose the curriculum. If I was in the job service site, you would see uh, definitely the plan for college students and adults. And maybe I want to see which page do I want? I want to see to learn about yourself. And I'm just going to click continue, create report, and see out of the activities assigned to this training site, I can see what activities were completed and by whom. Now, again, you have more activities assigned at the job service site than I have assigned in the training site. So those 39 activities would be somewhere within that report. Any questions? Right, I'm going to keep it moving because we only have a limited amount of time. Now, because I'm right back here in the reports yet, and I'm showing the milestones tracking report on the left, just going to run that really quick as well. You would have the North Dakota planning milestones, or you could set up your own milestones for Job Service North Dakota. Again, just click continue, pick a time frame, continue again, display graphs. There's no messing up reports. Once you have one perfected that you like, it's maybe nice to save it, but you can never mess up anything. It's just extracting data. So of the 22 milestone activities assigned at this site, I can see who's completed them and who the individuals are. Very easy to run reports. Now over on the students and groups page in the professional center is where I can search for accounts again, browse by name, but I can also manage groups. So this is where I said, if you wanted to create a group so that you could segregate out the clients at job service, you could do a group builder and you could give the group a name. You can assign it to individuals. These people named down here, these are all professionals attached to this site. They're all colleagues or people that have professional access for a reason to this site, but I would maybe call it Grand Forks Workforce Center. Click continue, and then I would be able to add, it says students again, but that would be your clients, and I could just toggle through these and said, oh, yep, these are my clients, and add, and they would become part of that group, which is really nice because when you open the job service site, you're going to see that there are many individuals in the job service site, and you might wonder, who are all these individuals? I'm looking at this site and I don't know who a lot of them are. Well, the job service RUReady site is one combined site for statewide. So again, break them down into groups by workforce center. They still will all be accessible in the same site, but you'd be able to work with that group of individuals and run reports for just that group a lot easier. So I think there are about 700 to 800 accounts in the job service site. Some of them have not been signed into since 2019. So I don't know if you have anything for records retention or anything like that, but it is possible to go through and release those accounts that you don't need, or maybe go through and clean up some duplicates. But that's very easy to do. And you probably want to work with your colleagues on doing this and make it a group effort. But you can see that you can merge accounts and you can release student accounts. Merging accounts would be handy if you see, well, Jim Smith, every time he comes into the Workforce Center to get some help, he creates a new account. And you could merge 3 accounts into one, and all of the work that Jim has completed would all be in one account rather than losing it or continuing to create accounts. And just, it really takes away the usefulness of having an account if you start from scratch every time. Now, I mentioned releasing accounts as well. I could scroll through here right now and I say, oh, well, you know what? I know that, you know, sometimes you find that people create rude account names and maybe you just want to give them the boot. Or I know that Zeke Abbott, in my training site account here, um, left North Dakota, moved out of the country somewhere, and never is coming back. All I would need to do is release, and they're no longer connected to the site. And you can have the assurance, though, that I didn't delete Zeke's account. I just removed access to my site. So if Zeke, wherever he is in this world, decides that, you know what, I'm going to sign into my Are You Ready account again. I want to check some things out. He'd still be able to sign in. He's just not connected to job service and not muddying up all the accounts. And you don't have to go through 800 accounts just to find the individuals that you're working with. When you're looking at the list of accounts comprehensively like this, looking by name, it's nice to see that you can see their last sign-in date here. So I can see that this individual has signed in, that person has signed in, and that's how I know in a job service site, all I have to do is click the column header and I can see, it will organize by date. And if collectively you decide that, I think it's time that we could get rid of anybody that hadn't signed in since, 2021 and prior, we can release their accounts. If they ever come back, we can help them get signed back in. We can always reconnect them with their account, but they don't have to be sitting here in our site. And, we have to go through so many names. And then also for, maybe for PII and confidentiality, maybe you just want to keep a closer look at the accounts that are connected to the site, because once they're no longer from receiving services from job service, maybe you don't even want their account to be in here. And again, if they come back, they can always reconnect their account. Any questions? All right. The next tab in the Professional Center is Resources, and there are a lot of resources here for site management. Every individual that has a professional account is able to see how to create an account, look what's in the Professional Center by looking through these resources. I mentioned the Assignment and Curriculum Builder as being a very useful tool. You can click on the resource for overview of Assignment and Curriculum Builder, learn all about it. Also the milestones, how to run a milestones report, how to customize milestones. You may have to have a certain account access level to do some of these things. Most of you are going to have just a standard professional account, but some of you are going to have a site administrator account. If you are a site administrator, when you log in, you're going to have an administration tab on your top menu. And the reason that not everybody has an administrator account is because you can change the milestones, you can change the assignment and curriculum builder. People associated with the school can change graduation requirements, change the curriculum. And as you can understand, that's not a privilege you want everyone to have. Good meaning people get into a site and think, well, this is really cool, look what I can do, not realizing that they're actually changing it for the entire site, not just for what they see. Any other questions? we're moving along quite quickly today. I'm going to pop over to, we could actually wrap up about now. And I'm going to tell you that you can contact me anytime for any questions about Are You Ready? I'm available to help. You can call me or email me, and I can help you get connected to your account. I can show you how something works in the site. If you want learn a little bit more about a certain area in the site specifically, we can do another um, short training to where we dive in and record that so your coworkers can see. Um, is there any place that anyone would like me to dive a little bit deeper into the live site, either on the student side or individual side or the professional center, since we do have a few minutes? You're such a quiet group today. I need a little feedback from somebody. I hope it's either that I've answered all of your questions, and if not, uh, what else can I help you answer? This is a pretty high level overview just to get you in and feel comfortable about what's there. Amy, you have a question.
Hi,
Oh,
yeah, I
hi.
mean, this is you may have answered it, so forgive me
Sure.
if you didn't, but if they already have an account, is it pretty easy for them to go in and add job service, like to connect? Or is that
Uh,
something we can do for them to make sure we're tracking them?
okay. Now, you can't do it for them, but what I'm going to
Okay.
do is demonstrate that through the demo account. So what I'm going to do is jump back into the student portfolio, and I'm going to hover over my initials up in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to go to This Is Me. And I can see by going to This Is Me that I'm connected to the North Dakota training site. So what I'm going to do is add another connection, start typing job, and I can do job service North Dakota, continue. And now my account is connected to it. But if I want to make it the account that I automatically log into, what I'm going to do is change primary connection, click this radio button here for Job Service North Dakota, click Save. And then now, when I hover over my name in the upper right-hand corner, I can see that I am signed into my account, and it's Job Service North Dakota. So, and I think there might be a screenshot in here somewhere for that, but I'll make sure to send that as well. Uh, I don't think I
I
did
think that would
include
be
that.
very helpful, and we can circulate that among staff or even give it to customers because we usually talk to them about Are You Ready? And we know we have people using it, but my concern is that they're not linking to job service. So we're probably under
Sure.
tracking that right now.
Sure. Yeah, and anybody that creates a new account, hopefully they're choosing job service. But yes, you're absolutely right. If they had an account before, they're going to want to check, make that connection to job service. And again, you could just ask them, when you're signing into Are You Ready? And you hover over your initials in the upper right, does it say Job Service North Dakota? And then if it doesn't, or if you're working with them directly, you'll know immediately that they need to do that, that they need to go to This Is Me and then add that connection. Great question. Oh, yep, you've got someone on staff even. Is Heather Hovland, I'm not familiar with her, is she with CareerView XR or is she with the Fargo Job Service Office? But I know that if Heather isn't the person to answer your questions, that the people with Be More Colorful and CareerView XR are more than willing to help. Oh, fantastic. I love it that you have someone that's a job service employee that knows CareerView XR that well. It's really not that hard to use once you get the hang of it, but there is a learning curve, especially when you're my age and you're not used to using a VR headset. I need the help of an 11-year-old or something. So If there are no other questions, we will wrap up for today. Again, this was recorded, so I will post it and share this link out along with the other resources that I mentioned. If you think of any other questions, please reach out to me. And with that, though, I'll just wish you all a very great day, and I thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm going to stop recording as well in case